Hey y'all, the Void Fill is officially doing our first overnight hike.
We're doing the stuff.
Look at us newbie hikers. Look how cute we are. We are on the Squirrel Creek Trail here in the San Isabel National Forest down in south central Colorado. And we're really excited to be out in nature and just get away from it all. How do you feel about being out here?
It just smells so good out here. And it's a beautiful day. It's not too hot. It's been pretty hot. So
Yeah.
we've got a nice breeze and some cloud coverage, so it's a pretty perfect day to go hiking.
That was something we were a little concerned about, is the heat, but I mean, it's 1 p.m. and it's not that hot, so I think we're gonna be all right. The original goal was to do the whole Squirrel Creek Trail loop. As you can see on this map, well, we got a little late start, so we're gonna see how far we get, and depending on how we feel, and we're gonna, we're not gonna push ourselves too hard.
Hopefully there's some water eventually in this creek, because it's looking a little dry.
Yeah, the Squirrel Creek is a little dry right now. We were kind of depending on that for our water. We have some extra water packed with us, so if we can't find any water reasonably soon, we might just play it safe and turn around. It's all part of the trial and error of learning how to hike.
Don't we look great though?
Don't we look great?
We look great.
I am so happy to be out here on the trail, knowing we're going to be spending the night out here in the wild. It's very therapeutic, and for me personally, I really need some good therapy. I've been really stressed out lately, and hiking is such a good way to take your mind off things. It also is a good distractor from the tinnitus. Right, we might be okay. All right, we're looking good here. The Squirrel Creek isn't that dry after all.
Little puddles in it.
That's why we have the filtration. If you are a sufferer of tinnitus, or how I like to pronounce it, tinnitus, but it's actually pronounced tinnitus, I highly recommend you get out in nature and do some hiking, because it's a great way to take your mind off it. And any of you out there watching who has tinnitus, you very well know the more you think about it, the worse it is, and the worse it is, the more you think about it. And it's a vicious, vicious cycle. The Void Fill is going to try to spread tinnitus awareness, because there are many, many people out there suffering from tinnitus, which is in most cases permanent ringing in the ears, no matter what you do, and it only gets worse and never gets better. But anyway, we out here. So I think we're almost 2 miles in of our first hike with all of our gear on our back, and I know I'm already feeling it in my hips, like the joint of where the femur bone meets the hip. At least I think that's where I'm feeling. But that's just because this is my first time walking miles with a bunch of weight on my back for a very long time. Probably the last time I could relate to this is maybe going to football practice every day with the pads on. Oh God, or mow down. You folks don't want to know what I went through to get my favorite camping site at Mowdown. Some of you out there watching, you know. I might feel my first blister coming on my left big toe. Oh, fuck, we forgot duct tape. Oh.
Blister stuff though.
Yeah, but it's not duct tape. Fucking son of a bitch. Duct tape is perfect just to mend your blisters for the time being until you can properly address them. And I decided to not wear boots. Last time I wore my boots, I got bad blisters. Then again, I decided to break them in on the trail, which is just foolish. But I'm just using my regular old Asics gym shoes. What kind of shoes do you got on there, Nicole?
There's some Merrill hiking shoes.
Let's see them. Merrill hiking shoes.
They're so comfortable, and usually with boots, I have a lot of problems with it rubbing against my ankle. When we were hiking Deer Mountain Trail, I was wearing my Solomon hiking boots, and my left ankle was just aching, like maybe halfway through our hike.
I still think it was a shoelace buckle pressing into your ankle, but...
Yeah, but I tried to move the tongue around and stuff, it did nothing for me. So I invested in these bad boys. It was like 70 bucks maybe, and they feel great. So Jeff's about to try out our Sawyer Squeeze water filtration system.
Yeah, someone on Reddit was like, if you're really, really concerned about it and you're only doing an overnight or a day hike, just drink it and you probably won't get sick until you get home. This is how the Sawyer Squeeze works. You collect water in this squeeze pouch, screw the water in, and then you just let gravity do its thing to filter it, or you can squeeze it yourself and it comes out this end. And there's multiple attachments for this. And I'm just gonna go with the old
Good luck, babe.
I'm thirsty.
Put some in your hand. Huh.
Tastes decent. It's
Yeah.
probably the minerals.
Yeah, there are a lot of
Probably.
minerals. Probably.
Let's go with that. When you're using these filters, especially with the Sawyer squeeze and one-way flow filters, which most of them are, when you're done using it, backwash it the other way, or else all that shit will sit inside there. And when you're done with your hike and you're storing it away until your next hike, backwash it with a few drops of bleach and you're good. So this is pretty cool. We came across this random awesome thing out here. The Squirrel Creek Lodge, the first private resort development on National Forest. And this is the foundation of the Squirrel Creek Lodge. In 1923 to 1924, with private funding, this lodge was built. This is really awesome. And it backs up to a beautiful mountainous tree scene. Fuck, we could pitch a tent right here. This is pretty cool. The Squirrel Creek Lodge. Didn't think we were gonna come across something like this. So this is very cool. This lodge was very popular with visitors until around 1942, when competition from other recreation attractions like nearby Lake Isabel caused visitation to decline throughout the canyon. Then in 1947, a major flood destroyed much of the road, including all 14 bridges and most campground facilities within this canyon. As a result, the Forest Service permanently closed the road. The lodge remnants later burned in 1979. And it's pretty cool because you can still see like what appears to be original pieces of construction. Squirrel Creek Lodge. Pretty cool. I'd say we're faring pretty well so far. There's a picnic table and a sign, probably a rest stop for hikers like us. How many miles do you think we're in? Like 3 or 4? It always feels like it's more miles than it really is. This is really interesting. We just came across this sign. The nation's first forest campground. In 1919, Squirrel Creek Campground became the first in the National Forest Service system that combined fixed fireplaces, a clean source of water, garbage disposal, sanitary latrine, and designated parking spot for motor cars. Wow. So in 1919, the Squirrel Creek Campground was the first in the National Forest system. I wonder if this was the campground. That's why there's a sign here. It is just so peaceful and relaxing out here. Occasionally, you'll hear the sound of a plane going overhead, but other than that, it's just wind, birds, and the sound of your shoe hitting the ground. There's also something to the psychology of knowing you're going to be spending the night out here. We're not going back to the car after this. It's a very interesting feeling for a newbie hiker, but it's also a very calming and relaxing feeling, especially someone like me who's constantly stressing out over my tinnitus. So this has been helping so far. So check it out. I'm pretty sure we just found part of the original Squirrel Creek campground. This old wooden table. This old grill / fireplace. It's original. All the big stones around it with the metal grate. To think 100 years ago, somebody was camping right here. I wonder who it was.
Ooh.
Ooh, looks like an old,
Yikes.
some sort of sewage system.
I love this old,
This was the original Squirrel Creek campground. So we decided to change our course a bit because we got a little bit of a late start today. We started hiking at 1 p.m., which is pretty late. Instead of complete the Squirrel Creek Trail, we decided to cut northwest to do the Dome Rock Trail, as you can see on this map right now. However, since we're not going down the creek anymore, questionable if we'll have a water source. We don't have the most water. We have a good amount of water, but we still need to have some water for cooking. So what do you think, babe?
say we get water back there. This is going up.
Right, it's going up, but remember, like, there were still some spots going all the way up the mountain before in the creek that had some water, you know? I say we go for it.
Okay.
Also, keep in mind, folks, whoever's watching this, we would not be taking this chance if we were not so close to the trailhead. If we were way miles and miles out in the shit, I wouldn't take a chance and I would just post up where the water was, or I would go back to the last time I saw water, but I think we'll be all right. So we decided that we are actually going to play it safe and not continue on the Dome Rock Trail, but we're gonna go back on the Squirrel Creek Trail because the creek along this trail has been bone dry. And the Squirrel Creek, it's pretty dry for the most part, but there's at least some areas where there's some pockets of water that I can filter. So we're just gonna play it safe and go back to the last spot we knew there is water. Also, we saw on this is definitely a lesser traveled trail. It's smaller. We saw a downed beehive, and a few hundred yards after that, we saw a big old pile of poop. We think it's bear poop. These trails, you have to keep in mind, like once the sun goes down and people camp, the animals know that the people are camping, and so they use the trails too. The animals use these trails because they're so easy to walk on for the animals. Nicole just made a good point that the animals know that, you know, humans come here a lot. Sometimes they leave like a food wrapper, or, you know, someone took a piss. They can smell the urine, but pretty much what we're getting at is it's not the best idea to camp immediately off the trail. I think maybe if it was a much more heavy traffic trail, like a big old popular trail like the Timberline Trail around Mount Hood, I'm sure there's a lot of people who camp right off the trail there. But in a spot like this, and we're the only people we saw out here besides right when we first started back near the campground, and I'm sure that was just the family camping there who happened to be going for a day hike. So we're the only ones out here as far as I'm concerned. All part of the experience, trial and error. All right, so really glad that we decided to turn around and go back on the Squirrel Creek Trail versus the Dome Rock Trail, because now we have plenty of water. I think we'll get our water from right here. So we're not gonna get water from this pond because it looks like a tiny little parasite is moving around in there. You know, those tiny little worms that are in your intestines? You can't see it with that, but yep, we'll filter it and boil it. So we'll be good. Fuck yeah, let's eat. Let's eat. So we just took a little 30-minute break to fill up our Sawyer squeeze pouches. We're gonna use this for cooking. This will be our dinner water. This will be our breakfast water. We just filled up our water bottles, and we have an extra backup bottle. There's the beautiful Nicole. We're gonna hike a little bit down the trail, a little more, to see if there's a better campground or camping spot than this area. This is 100% a designated area for hikers to camp. Yeah, I'm seeing some bugs out here I'm not used to seeing necessarily, but that's okay. It's all part of the experience. But we definitely do not want to cook in the same exact spot we camp at, because then you're just asking for a bear to come by your campsite. And really, this all comes down to bears. Cougars, but mainly bears. Yeah, a cougar is way less likely to approach your campsite. So we have found the area. We are going to pitch a tent. It is near the trail. However, there are many, if any, much less signs of animal activity. The last spot we just showed you at where we filled up water, Nicole made a good observation. It looked like a downed tree. Once had termites in it because it had a bunch of holes in the tree. And then it looked like the tree was ripped apart. And we're going to assume it's because of a bear was trying to get to termites. Because bears, you know, they do eat termites. Goddamn fuckers can smell anything. We're going to set up camp here, and then we're going to go back there and cook. And that's where we're also going to hang the bear bag. And then we're going to come back here and try to sleep. All right, and now we just wait for water to boil, which it looks like it's gonna be close already. It's already bubbling down there. So hell yeah, high five. Oh yeah, it's coming along. I'm curious to see how far this butane can goes. Give you a quick view of our cooking area. So here's the Squirrel Creek Trail. Way up at that distance is the trailhead. And down there is our campsite. Here's our little spot cooking our dinner. Almost boiling.
Oh boy.
Oh. Let me show you what we were talking about earlier about possible bear scratching at a tree trying to get the termite. I mean, that's what it looks like to me as well. Check it out, see it for yourself. So yeah, this looks like it used to be a termite colony, and then something just went at it hard. Some more scratch marks down there. Something scratched the bark off this tree. Now it's the home to a little black spider. And this is, right now we're utilizing the old original Squirrel Creek campground campsites. As you can see with this old campfire / grill, built out of stone and brick.
We have a boil.
We have a boil. Our first cooked trail meal. Veggie pasta with spinach. Plain. We forgot to bring some spices. I forgot my spork back at the campsite, so we will be sharing. Just tastes like greens.
Very green.
Very green.
So we just got done eating our very green meal and hanging our little bear bag. Better safe than sorry, okay? So, we're gonna go chill though. We're gonna go chillax at our campsite.
So like I've been saying, we out here and we went to go do our last pee for the night before we got comfortable in the tent. Wouldn't you know it? Literally, not even, it had to have been 50 yards away, not even a fucking mountain lion. Ow! 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 This all comes down to bears. Cougars, eh. But mainly bears. Yeah, a cougar is way less likely to approach your campsite. Of course, first thing I do, I get the knife, Nicole gets the bear mace, and right now we're in the tent. Probably not going to be able to fall asleep tonight because of what just happened. It was crazy. It was like close enough to be at a zoo. Like I felt like there was a cage between me and the mountain lion. All right, so we survived our first overnight. Something exciting happened last night, right around 10 p.m. We went out to take our last pee before relaxing in the tent, and right up there, literally right up there, a mountain lion. Just yowl, 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 super loud. It literally had to have been right up there, that rock and that tree. And it was very, very loud, and it scared the shit out of us. And so we were pretty fucking scared that a mountain lion was that close to, well, Nicole was really scared.
Oh, okay.
I acted bravely. No, we were both pretty scared. We got the bear mace out, we got the knife out. But yeah, we're probably right next to its den. Mountain lions are real. See, we were so worried about bears this whole time. We kind of didn't really think about mountain lions, but what are you supposed to do about mountain lions? Hopefully our bear bag is still there and all of our food and cooking gear is still intact. It should be. And we're gonna make some breakfast, and then it'll be a few hour hike uphill back to the car. Holy shit. Our bear bag hangs. It remains. We were not too sure because it's not sealed. It's just open for any animal to smell the food in there. Hell yeah. On our way back to the car, we decided to take a little shortcut. As you can see on this map, we diverted from the Squirrel Creek Trail and went up this trail. I forget the name already, but it was really steep. But it was worth it because it shaved off.
Something.
The what?
Arthur something.
Arthur something. It shaved off by like 40 minutes of our hike getting back to the car. So, and why not? Because we're in shape enough to do it. So, fuck it. Holy shit, we made it. We did it. We did it. Ooh, we didn't sign in. Next time. Wow. All right, well, the car is just up here. Oh, our precious Subaru.
Oh, man.
Oh, how do you feel, babe?
Pooped.
Wasn't too bad. Wasn't that bad.
Well, I only got, what, an hour equivalent of sleep last night?
I only got an hour of sleep. Well, that concludes the Squirrel Creek Trail overnight hiking trip here in the Voidville.